Hi everyone. Um, Thank you so much for watching this video. Um, so today, as you can maybe see by the title, plans may have changed on me going through the self-publishing process for my book Crease. Um, it may not be coming out this fall. I know the day before I just made a whole video talking about how, like, yeah, we're going after it. We're gonna get this thing done. Get a ton of this stuff crushed next week, but it may be delayed. But I promise you, it's for a super good reason. In fact, an amazing reason. So, for those that follow along with my channel here, you'll know that Crease was not the only book that I was working on last year. Um, I'd actually worked on a second novel. I think I just called it the wrestling novel, I think is what I was calling it. But what I did earlier this year was I actually entered that novel into a contest. It was for a New Voices Award through basically this excellent publisher that I looked at. And basically, how it works is that in the contest, everyone enters, and a select few that are chosen, basically that win the contest, actually work directly with the publisher and with their editors over basically like the next year or so, getting that book ready to basically publish through them, which is pretty cool. So so if you win, if you're basically, I think if you're shortlisted for it, you get to work with this publisher. It's awesome. Work with their editor, go through the process, and eventually basically your book will kind of come out through them. It is basically what the process is. I had, for the most part, forgotten about it. I know it was set to come out this fall, but I was actually contacted by email yesterday, and by someone that works the publisher, basically saying that the book, basically my book basically was excellent, which is awesome, and that they were starting to compile the long list, which is like the first round basically, and so my book was basically in contention to make the long list, but they needed me to submit a synopsis as well, which I hadn't done with the initial submission there. So I ended up sending my synopsis over yesterday for the book. So this is all awesome news, right? If I actually get, make the long list, potentially make the short list, right, for this book, awesome. This could be, this is going to be huge. But with the award, one of the requirements basically is that you cannot have had any prior publications, which means that as long as I'm in this contest, my novel Crease cannot come out. That's basically what it means. So, brings us back to this, right? The novel Crease will have to be basically put on hold at least until I find out if I've either won or if I didn't make the next round, basically. In hindsight, you always look at it and you always go, well, I probably shouldn't have worked on this book anyways. I should have just waited until the contest was over. But as you've seen with me and with the publishing process, there's so much rejection. There's so much kind of like your chances are always seem very, very low, that you can never really wait for like one thing to come through. You always have to sort of be, working on something else, or have, another poker in the fire, as it were. You can never really just be like, I'm put all my plans on hold, wait till to see if I win this contest, right? And so, obviously, if I knew what I knew now, I would not have gone through this process this summer. But I don't. And this is sort of a champagne problem, right? Like, this is this is not something devastating at all. So what it means, though, is that Crease gets put on hold. At least sort of. And I guess what I mean by that is the odds are still kind of against me, right? As cool as it is to get even this far, I was, yesterday I was absolutely ecstatic, right? The odds are still sort of against me. If I was to hedge my bets, I would still kind of operate on the idea that this is not going to happen. So with that, I am still anticipating the book will come out this fall. I still think that, you know, that I probably will not make the cut, and that I'll just basically self-release the novel later this year. That's gonna be the plan. Um, with that being said, I need to kind of operate on the assumption, though, at the moment that I am gonna get this thing right. I can't be doing this thing and sinking my chances here. And so the self-publishing process where I'm at right now is going to be put on hold for the time being. Um, this is awesome. This is, again, I feel awesome. This is great. And Crease will eventually come out. Crease is going to debut at some point. I imagine I'll probably have to self-publish it still. So perhaps it's a couple years from now. Perhaps it's in the future. Or, as the odds suggest, probably just this fall, like I anticipated. If I don't, things don't work out with this contest. But for the moment, Crease we put on hold. As far as where I'm at, I'm pretty darn far. The book's already formatted for both paperback and ebook. At this point, it would just be buying the ISBNs, getting the cover done, and a couple of the financials with like the publisher that I created, or the publishing house that I'm using as an LLC for this thing. That's basically it. So at any time this fall, I can jump in, get those things done in basically like probably a week. Now, I don't know how long it would take to get the cover done, but within probably about a week, I could have this whole thing done. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a little bit. I'll find out about the contest more this fall. So I'm anticipating. I assume that means September is what I assume that means. And hey, if we keep going forward, awesome. If I make it through the first round and I get cut in the second round, Crease gets released potentially in the late fall, early winter. Who cares? It's gonna happen. Both books will be out. Both books are gonna come out. It's awesome to finally have gotten some progress on this thing here. It feels excellent to have kind of hit this. So we'll see. Again, I have to assume that I'm not going to win this contest or get to kind of the finals of this contest. But for the time being, we're just going to kind of play it out like this thing's going to happen for now and wait. I'll talk more about what I'm going to be doing in the interim tomorrow. It's basically going to be the short story collection that I've been working on for the time being. But yeah, so some exciting news, some awesome news. But this book, my God, I started working on this thing like in 2018. This book has had more attempts at being finished and released than anything else, right? Whether it was the self-publishing with me, the publisher I was talking about last year that I was working with, the agents that I talked to the year before that. I so many opportunities for this book to come out, and it's never seems to have happened. But each time, though, things can get better. So there's no complaints and no arguments from me. Very happy to see where things go from here, and yeah, we'll see. Potentially, I'm looking at getting both books out within the next couple years, so that's gonna be huge. So thanks so much for watching this video. I will see you all tomorrow.